Hey, yo, what's up, beautiful people? It is late. And I am up here doing the NDA podcast because, we got to put in our 10 hours. But we don't have to do it alone. So, what is the NDA podcast? Well, it's me, Robbie, aka Sketchcraft, and this is where I work on projects that are generally under NDA. This project has been announced. It's called Spawn Kills Every Spawn. It's a mini series coming out in summer of 2024, and I'm going to be working on that right here. You can't see that because if I shared that, I'd get fired. But what I will do, behind me, I want to put some artwork. Some artwork I did a little while ago, sped up about 4 times. It's going to be a Wolverine color pencil sketch cover. Let's get that going, shall we? Let's get that going. First, we need to bring up Little Rob. Little Rob, where are you, buddy? Oh, there you are, Little Rob. Woohoo! Okay, let's go ahead and put this on. Here we go. Ready? Time it up with the music. Here we go. Ready? Ready? There we go. There we go. Look at that. Look at that time. It's professional. Professional. Alrighty. And there it is. So I already drawn that, laid down some ink, and then we're gonna get to the color pencils. So if you're wondering what kind of color pencils I use Polychromos. Polychromos, oil-based color pencil, love it. And Dustman from Twitch already in the house. What's up, Dustman? All right. I suppose I should get to work now. Set up this file before I left last time, but it's a good starting point. But one of these poses is not so good. I need to fix that. That's me testing out some colors. Kind of don't need to do that anymore. This was when I was first kind of using them. This is like one of the first all color pencil pieces I had done, so I wasn't certain which color works where, but yeah. And now I know how they all work. I know which one does what. So it's not really. Dustman says it's crazy what you can do with color pencils. Yeah, I mean they're just not fast, but I gotta be honest, I just prefer working with them, man. They're my favorite. They're my favorite, you know. When you got a good color pencil piece, it's not over burnished. It's just nice and soft. And it's as luminescent as watercolors. You know, it's quite good. But that's me tinting the red shade with some of that Tuscan brown right there. All right. This one says one of the people I follow on Insta uses them exclusively, and I was blown away. Yeah, yeah. Yippers. You can do smooth, you can do scribbly. I do both, you know. The only thing I don't do is photo reproductions. I have no interest in it. But other than that, you can if you want, though. You know, that's what's great about it. Obviously, this is going to be the yellow and brown costume. You know, my personal favorite Wolverine costume. You know, the only Wolverine costume I'm not a fan of is when he had that do-rag and bone claws and looked like the Beast. Wasn't a good look. This man says most of his work is digital, so my traditional skills are lacking, to be sure. Yeah, I work in both. Right now, I'm drawing digitally. You know, I do a lot of my layouts digital. Sometimes I just do them in rough sketches and then do a digital cleanup and then print out and do my final. Just depends, you know. This man, how's the art book coming? Haven't touched it in a while, my friend. Working on the comic, just haven't had the free time. So I finished up all my like loose commissions, right? Like the Power Ranger stuff and the Scud. So now that that's done, I can start to maybe devote like a Saturday, you know, doing that. So hopefully this weekend or next I'll be able to start working on that again. But just shipped out all the Power Ranger stuff. Well, no. Prints are coming. He bought prints, so they're coming to me. Because he's overseas, I have to ship them out myself. My printer doesn't ship out overseas. So, but I shipped all the Scud stuff today. So that was nice. It was a big package of stuff, you know. I give them like all my color tests and sketches that go with it, you know. I get a whole package of stuff, not just the final piece. My goal is to have the art book done by the end of summer, but I don't know when it'll go up on Kickstarter because I'm not going to kickstart anything during Christmas, you know, so it may have to wait till next spring. Unless for some reason they don't want to do any more Spawn, then maybe I can, if I have all summer to do it, then I could have it up by September, you know. But I mean, the turnaround on those books is going to take a bit to come back to me. So once you look at September to October, if it gets through, and then you ship it, it's got to come back to me. It's pushing it for holiday rates. This man asked me, do you ever do conventions? Not anymore. No, my last convention was 2017. I just don't make any money at them. I don't make any money at commit. Mostly just sell commissions when I go, and I can do that from home. And I don't make enough to cover the trip anyway, so This man asked me, you're working on spawn kills, right? Yeah, spawn kills every spawn. That is what I'm working on right now, as we speak. All right, that's looking bad. Similar to the Deadpool kills. Yeah, it's sort of a parody book, but Deadpool kills is like actual Deadpool. This one features like a little Invader Zim. We call him Chibi Spawn. At least I do. I call him Chibi Spawn. Basically, he's the worst spawn, and he wants to be the best spawn. And rather than get better, he just decides to kill all the other spawns. But he's really bad at it. So, basic premise. But he's got dreams. So we got John Layman writing it. If you're familiar with John's work on Chew or Suicide Squad or... Yeah, it's a fun book, man. It's a fun book. Very animated. Very animated, lots of details. So whatever they did with the Spawn Kills series before, this is a different beast altogether. Kind of like a reboot in a way. So if you check out my DeviantArt or my Instagram or whatever, you can see we got like the cover to issue 1's already up and some pages. You know, I got to get that updated on my ArtStation. That's the one place I haven't put that stuff yet, so I should probably get that up next week. I spent all my free time in the last week getting my new store up because I had to get rid of my Etsy shop. Etsy takes 40%. You can see how you can tint the red lines, right, with the color, and then just work towards a highlight, right? So you can get your value. Yeah, it really sucks, Dustman. I didn't know they did that, and I've never had this before, but I had a fan, longtime fan, spent $900 last year. I was like, man, they were like, I knew them. They're like, oh man, I always wanted to hook you up, and they got a new job and they were able to decorate the place. They spent $900 on me, man. I was like, what? That's amazing. Thank you so much. Etsy took 360 of it. By the time I got done with shipping and taxes and everything else, I kept less than 200. It was like 160, 180 bucks somewhere around there. So yeah, Etsy made pretty good. I just took everything down, man. Like, I can't. Come on, man. You know, like, I supposed to do Rob a solid, and then Etsy's like, no, man, I'm keeping it. You know, like, they didn't even give me the sale. I mean, I don't. Yeah, so we can't have that. So I got my own store set up now. Rawmaker says, having bought prints back when you did Kickstarter. I'm sorry for your new shop. Yeah, thank you. So I'll be having prints up there. When I got original art and sketch, I got a bunch of old sketches I'm going to put up, and those are pretty good deals. Like, I'll put those up for like, I'll put little packs together for like $40 of just random sketches and whips and stuff. You know, sometimes people just like scraps, like, you know, to see how I do color pencil or to have something around. We'll have that. When I eventually can sell the Spawn art, I will have the Spawn art up there too. I got my digital brushes up there right now, as well as prints. And then I'm working on some merch, like t-shirts and stuff like that. We can get all that up there. Dustman says, that's lame. I used to use Redbubble, which is print on demand. They took off each sale, and they said they were going to be taking out your payout as well. Yeah. Yeah, so like I said, I'm working on all that, but I'd rather build my own clubhouse than spend time in someone else's neighborhood. You know, I should have done this years ago, but this was the year I realized, oh, all the social medias will just up and screw everyone, you know, when they get a chance. So we are building I'm building the little Sketchcraft clubhouse, all right? So, and if one day we got to stream exclusively to that, we will too, you know? This man says, you feel like you have the following for it. When they remember I'm around. How about that? So that's why I started this NDA podcast, because I spent the last year working on Spawn by my own. And I'm like, I can't just disappear for years now, you know? Like, I gotta be able to show up every day, but I need something to show. I need some art. I need some art to show. And that's where I was like, well, instead of just making random speed vids and putting them once up on YouTube, why don't I just play them behind me while I work? We can do it over and over again. So, you know, that's basically where it came from. Just so people remember I'm around. I mean, already in the last week since I've been doing this, people are like, man, I forgot you were alive. It's like, thank you. I understand that. You know, I get it. Dustman says, I remember coming across your Avengers Kickstarter. I'm loving that. Oh, thank you. You're part of the whole Avengers Kickstarter. Thank you. That was the one that cost me my job. Lost my whole employment over stupid. See that? See, Dustman? That's what I'm talking about cons. Like, I was going to go to Arizona Con, and it cost me the year before $1,000 to go, you know, and I made about 500. So my goal was to break even. So I just wanted to do a Kickstarter for $500, you know, figuring it'd probably do around 7 or 8, you know, 100, maybe 1,000 tops, right? And once everything's shipped out, I'd be able to keep about half of that. Like I figured, because I had a good deal on prints at the time. And yeah, man, it hit like 10 grand in less than 24 hours. And then Marvel decided to call my employer. And I got called into an office. I had to explain that I didn't do that art at work. And I had to explain what a Kickstarter was, because this was 2013, and they'd never heard of this. And, you know. And they were going to fire me, but I just walked out, you know. I was like, well, I'm out of here. Yeah, that was a lesson. That was a lesson. Crazy, because today people are still doing Marvel fan art on Kickstarter. And no one's losing their job over it. You know? But I seem to always beat the odds, doesn't it? Always beat the odds. I'm pretty good at beating the odds. Dustman says, like, that should never be an option. Yeah. Just wanted to raise $500, man. You know, I almost forgot to record my drawing. I almost forgot to record my drawing on this side. Not what I have a separate OBS recording. I'm supposed to have a separate OBS recording on my screen. And I forgot to turn it on. So right about to, so I started drawing ahead. And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, caught myself. Dustman says, if it makes any difference, I have them up at every place since I got them. Oh, well, thank you, Dustman. I appreciate that. Nah, you guys You guys were all great. You know what I mean? Like, all the supporters are great. You know, I really appreciated it, you know? Still do. You know, and I packed and shipped every one of those myself. Because Josh didn't do it. That was another hard lesson. Never let another person have access to your money. You know? I know they always say that, and you always see these horror stories, but you're like, oh, my friend won't do that to me. Yeah, they will. Your best friend will steal your money. Don't do it. You know? Do all the work yourself. I had to do all the work myself anyway, so I saved myself nothing at the end of the day. But never again will I make that mistake. So the next Kickstarter I do, the art book, it will be completely done. Everything will be done. And we will just get that printed and shipped. What I will do. Recording? Excellent. This says Kickstarter seems like a good platform for finished products, even though it isn't the premises. Yeah, that's just the reality, you know? Like, that's the reality. Some things can't be finished, maybe if you're trying to get like an animated short done or something, but when it comes, you know, for the stuff I do with art, I just need to have it completed first, you know? Even if I wanted to do a comic or by itself or something, I would just get it. I'd spend a year and get it done by myself, and then go to Kickstarter. You know, there's just no sense in having that over my head. I just don't need the trouble. Especially now with the cost of goods and shipping. Like, I just feel like, hey, look, you bought it, you want it right away, right? I get it. I mean, I've backed, you know, 50, 70 different Kickstarters, so I get it, you know? Every year I back at least 4 or 5. And they don't all make it across the finish line. You know, I understand. This one says, like, I've gotten screwed on some, but 90% got fulfilled. Right. So there was some extra prints I did on another Kickstarter Josh had started that I just couldn't get done. And it took long enough, and finally I saved my crash money. And for those people, I said, if you want, this was like 2019, the beginning of 2019, I said, you got a year. It was actually December of 2018. I said, you got a year. I'm gonna leave this open for a year. If you want a refund, you can get one. If not, I mean, I did what I could. I fulfilled as much as I could, but I'd already spent $20,000 of my own money printing and shipping everything Josh did not do. So I just was like, I just want out of it, you know. Most people just said, you know what, by that point they're like, no man, it's cool, we appreciate the honesty. You know, like a dozen people wanted their money back, and I was, no big deal, here you go. I gave people a year. And every now and then I still get like a Kickstarter, you know, person going, hey, what's up with this? And I'm like, here's the updates, bud. You know, I remember that. I feel the frustration. Yeah. I never thought, I mean, we were friends for a long time, dude. I just did not expect that to happen, but it happened. You know? But I can only blame myself. I blame myself. I you know, I allowed that to happen. That's on me. Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, we just launched Berserk Boy. It's on Nintendo Switch right now on Steam, so I'll take that as a win. And they got this, you know, will come out in the summer. If they want to do another one, I'll spend the next year doing that. If they don't, then we'll get the art book out, and you know, I'll definitely do like a comic thing on my own, and like a game something or other. Maybe, you know, at the very least a game demo. I've got a few things I've been deving out. I got some options, you know. This man says, do you find it hard to stay creatively motivated on these longer projects? Depends. You know, like streaming to me helps. Only because sit here listening to podcasts all day, and eventually they just sort of repeat themselves. Doesn't really matter what it is, you know. So but I understand what you mean. Like this project was initially supposed to be 3 issues, and I would be done by now if they had done those 3 issues, but it got bumped up to 5. So you know, like I don't mind that, but yeah, definitely, like, you know, like you hit the year mark and you're like, I should be done by now, you know, like, but I'm just not that fast. I get more frustrated with just a way I could speed this up, and there really isn't. You know, I have a process and it's pretty good, but it's not designed for monthly comics. But long as there's progress moving forward, not really. You know, when it's just sitting there not getting, like, you know, if you can't get approvals, or like when I did the Yokai Watch covers, it took them 12 months to give me an approval on the cover for the first issue. Like, I had to move on. They were like, "You want? Okay, we got the approvals." Like a year later, I'm like, "Would you get on a boat with some scrolls and row to Japan? Like, how long did that take? You know, like." And like, we want to do the rest of the covers for the series. I'm like, no, man, I'm past this. So, you know, thanks, but no thanks. I think it angered them. You know, they were mad at me. I'm like, don't be mad at me. You know, you can't just expect me to sit here waiting for a year, man. You know. Ridiculous. My frustration comes when I can't work on anything where I can have real creative input. Like, working with Blizzard was a nightmare. That was like constantly proving to them why I should be there all the time, and them not liking anything I draw. I'm like, why am I here? You know? But Todd doesn't complain about my art at all, so no complaints there. I just want to make them money. You know, I like being an earner, man. You know, I hate feeling like I wasted people's money. But it's hard. It's hard in comics. I mean, I don't know. You know, I draw so different. I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna roll over with fans. This man asked me, what did I work on? I worked on Overwatch 2. They didn't use anything I did. So I was like, I only did 4 months of it after I did Spyro Reignited and then Crash Bandicoot 4. And then we had some other project we were going to do. And then all of a sudden we didn't have a studio. So they wanted to keep us employed. So they got us, you know, work with Blizzard. Work on support for Overwatch 2, but I don't think Blizzard was really that into any of us being there, especially me. I think they liked me the least. So, yeah, it was 4 months. You know, it wasn't good. And this was before the big, like right before the big, oh my God, Blizzard's got issues, you know, and all that Me Too stuff. Now, I never experienced any of that. I just experienced creative leadership incompetency, I would call it. I'll call it incompetent leadership. You know, and I've been very vocal about that. And yeah, I've been very vocal about it. You know, I appreciate the opportunity, but I don't appreciate the way they interacted with me at all. So, I thought it was largely rude. Pretty cut. Yeah, and I don't. They didn't want me there, and that's fine. You know. Then don't hire me. I'm cool with that. I'm not cool with people hiring me and then, you know, let me know how much of a disappointment I am. But it's like, you know, I wanted to quit, but I just told myself, like, I can't quit. I gotta, like, see if I can make this work somehow. You know, it's a good opportunity, and it's like, you know, people won't understand. And the people that helped got me the work might take it, you know, offensive if I just walked out. So it's like, all right, you know, let's give this a go. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, I tried, right? I gave it a shot. It is what it is, you know? I learned a real valuable lesson. What that is, I don't know. I'm still working it out. But I know I learned something. No, I know, you know. I draw how I draw. And if you don't like it, then don't like it. That was the last time I was willing to change my art style for a company. I'm sort of done with that. All right, Desman, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it, buddy. Don't be a stranger. Okay. Skyrim says your profile pic describes my feelings for weekdays. Not saying any words. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm still leaving my old profile pic up on the Twitch. But I had to move over to an actual photo of me because of Facebook verification, blah, 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 blah. But yeah. Grumpy face, right? Muppet face, right? Right. Muppet face. Forgot Facebook was a thing. Yeah, well, I got almost 200,000 followers on there, so it's a thing. Can't afford to discriminate on my socials. Except for X. Fuck X. Other than that, we're good to go. Noid says W art. Okay. Thank you. Take that as a win. Not a fan, my friend. If you've ever visited South Africa and apartheid, you would know why he's an issue. I suggest you take a trip to Johannesburg. You'll see why Queen got so much flack for playing at Sun City back in the 80s. Yeah, the music group, yeah. Nights, these poses just don't come easy, I'm telling you. Telling you. Jammy. Yeah, it's Pretzel Rocks, dude. I think this one is. Which one is this? Dirt Road. That's what it's called. I can't pronounce the guy's names. Romain Antonin Rousselier. I don't know. Dirt Road. But it's streaming friendly music. Be good to go. Carver says, kind of reminds me of something that would be played in Subway Surf. Little Ocean's 11-y, right? A little bit. A little bit. get on the color pencil? How far did I get? Oh, I'm on the belt. Yeah, that color pencil just takes time. Takes time. Hey, what's up, Kuya? Thank you. Yeah, this was a fun one to do. So Sketchcover. I was uncertain how to do those metal claws. I remember going to gray, nah, blue. Blue's always better than gray. Claws. And when I got one done, I was like, I gotta do 2 more. Well, technically, 5 more. Karen says, so how are you doing this? Like, you already do the art, recorded that, and doing a new project? How are you doing this, Magic Man? Yeah, so right now, on my tablet, I'm working on a comic book for Todd McFarlane called Spawn Kills Every Spawn. Comes out this summer. I can't share that with you all right now because I'd get fired and ruin the whole comic. Wouldn't be fun. So while I'm working on NDA projects, right? Projects I can't share, behind me, I'm playing speed videos of artwork that I've done in the past. Because most people have just never seen this. Even though it's all up on my YouTube, most people have never seen this, you know? So, yeah. Like earlier, I had this, see the red pencil and the ink? Like earlier, I put that up. And every day I'll put up a new one, and then I'll repeat them, you know? Because people discover all the time. So this way, while I work on my secret project, I can still stream and hang out with all you people. Lugia says, what's your favorite medium besides color pencils? I enjoy watercolor, you know? It just takes more prep. You know, I have to like plan it out. Color pencil, I just don't have to think about it. And I like soft pastel, you know? But gets everywhere in my room. So what I do with that these days is I'll set up a background. And when I'll set up a background with like watercolor or distress ink or something like that. And then I'll airbrush clear gesso, like diluted clear gesso over it and create a real sandy surface. And then when that dries, I can put dry pastel over that and create like pastel textures for the backgrounds and stuff. I've done that before. So yeah. Aaron says Tom. Who? Tom. Who's Tom? Tom who? Todd. Todd McFarlane. He's got a big company called McFarlane Toys. McFarlane. Got a character named Spawn. You ever seen Venom? He designed Venom, right? That's him. Todd McFarlane. T-O-D-D. He's got a character named Spawn, and I'm drawing a book called Spawn Kills Every Spawn. 5 issues. Yeah. No, it's all good, man. It's all good. Todd. Old Todd father. Old Todd Stewart. Yeah. What's my YouTube? Sketchcraft. I'm Sketchcraft everywhere. Everywhere. Sketchcraft on YouTube. Sketchcraft on Instagram. Sketchcraft. Like Minecraft, that's Sketch. Sketchcraft. Warcraft. Sketchcraft. Right. I don't worry, man. I do that all the time. I ask people questions to which I already figured out the answers to. All the time. It happens. The great thing about color pencil is if you just hold the back end of it, you can go super light. You know, and like you can really glaze. It's like glazing in watercolor. You know. Yeah. How do I record my videos? Different stuff. Like right now, this is recording because I have this set to automatic record when I stream. But I'm also using OBS, another version of this is Streamlabs OBS. I'm using a regular OBS on top of this to record my other screen separate of this. So, yeah. Mostly I use OBS to stream and record at the same time. That's how I did this. What's my camera setup? Oh yeah, you mean that? This was an old Logitech when I did this. This was like a 900 or something. Wasn't that great? I got a Logitech 4K now. I've had a Sony DSLRs, but the Logitech 4K is as good as those, so I got rid of the DSLRs. This was an old. Yeah, when I did this in 2017, 2016, somewhere around there. I was just using like a 930 or something. But now, I mean, I can record at 1080p, 60 frames per second. So, with a really thin little Logitech 4K. So, that's what's recording me now, my face. So, I can't tell the difference between this and the DSLR anymore. So, there's no sense in having a giant camera hooked up to my computer. Luckily, I bought those used. Mine's real ghetto. So in front of me, you know those spring arm desk lamps for like a drafting table? Right? They have like the springs and the little clamp on the front. It's a drafting table lamp. I have a drafting table lamp, and then I've hooked the it's upside down into the wall, and I got a little I put in a little mini shelf right there that I clamp it into. So I just put in a mini shelf into the wall. I clamp it into that and face it upside down. Then I just pull it out and raise or lower it like that. And this camera is just on a tripod. Microphone on. Sort of. It's a desktop lamp, but sure. Probably use a microphone on. But I don't have a lot of space back here. It's literally just facing the wall, so it just goes straight up, comes out. Straight up, comes out. Basically it. Okay, no problem. No, 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 no. I didn't make Joker in the Mask. Every now and then I talk about comic books that I really like that no one's ever heard of, and so that's just where we open up old comics and talk about it. That's comics and books. Comics and books. Every so often, I try to bring up something people probably haven't seen before that I really dig. I was trying to do that in lieu of streaming, but you know, there's only so many of those I can do. That's when I came up with this idea. Yeah, no, that was Marcuti or Marcui. Yeah. He never drew in that style again. That was like, you know, the Batman animated meets Jeff Matsuda kind of art style. Dave McCaig on the colors and stuff. Yeah, no, I was a real big fan of that. I was basically surmising in that review that, you know, I wish they had had a whole line of books in this art style. I think it's highly underrated. Raymond Box. Yeah, I'm not good with names, man. Raymond Box, that's the guy. Yeah. Gilroy and Shum are the writers. And they come from animation and stuff. I think they worked on Clone Wars. Gilroy worked on Clone Wars. Raymond Box was the artist, and Dave McCaig did the colors. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I don't know. I was thinking Marku. Who knows? Who knows? We go over it in the episode. Yeah, I'm horrible at names. That's why I use Sketchcraft, because my last name is not easy to remember or pronounce, so. Is it 9:47 already? Yeah, man, time flies late at night, you know? So yeah, I got a couple hours, and it's like, no, it's almost over. I gotta go till 10:30. Wait, you said you're making a Spawn comic. Spawn kills every Spawn. You know the character Spawn? You ever heard of Spawn? What time you in? Because it's already 10 here. I'm in Mountain Daylight Time. MDT. Probably on the East Coast. Central. Got a big team up page. And yeah, Spawn. Yeah, I got it. It's just a little tricky. It's a little tricky. Yeah, Lobo. I did that when I was working on the Blizzard stuff, and they were like, Rob can't draw, and I'm like, I know I can draw, man. And so like, I drew that Blizzard, and I'm like, I drew that Lobo, and I was like, see, I can draw. You guys suck. It was funny because the guy I was working with at the time, this liaison to Blizzard, he was a good dude, man. He was like, you know, man, you should be drawing Spawn or something. And I was just like, yeah, like that's gonna happen. Here we are. Here we are. Skyrim says, man, I'm glad I found you. Love comics, love art. Here you have done. Oh, thank you, Skyrim. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, if you like any of the videos, man, leaving a comment helps. And then you can always just suggest if you want me to like cover something, I'll cover it, you know. I try to talk more about the art than the story. I'll have Paul on to bring up the story, you know, but I like to just cover the art most, you know, and give my 2 cents and stuff. But I'm a huge fan of Carlos Miglia's work, and I actually have his art book, which is not cheap to come by, dude. Over $100-something. You know, I'm gonna definitely, the next one I do will probably be on that. I was gonna do it for Christmas, but I didn't feel like doing anything over the holidays. That did not happen. Oh no, I actually had one in November. We did the Star Wars manga, like the original New Hope manga, but it got flagged. They like, I don't know, man. Like so I was like, whatever, you know. Gotta take that one off. And then I was gonna do the Miglia one for Christmas, but I had some health issues come up. Had some digestive issues, and then my wife had to have surgery, so that's all. Yeah. So I'm just gonna wait. You know, I didn't get a flag on my account. I'm just gonna wait and try and repost it like in the summer. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's no big deal, Skyrim. So I just was like, hey, I'll take a break. But I do every now and then. Paul, the guy that does them with me, he has his own channel called The Comics Binge. And I'm on there talking with them sometimes. We did one on Rob Liefeld's Heroes Reborn. We did one recently on what did we do? We did one not but a couple months ago. Chris Bachala's Steampunk. Yeah. So I need to see if I can like repost them on my site. I don't think he'll care. I can at least put those up, but yeah. Like I said, I'm planning one. It's just I had to make my store, and then I got this idea to do this, and I had to make all the graphics for this stuff. You know how it is, man. There's only so much you can do in a day. And I do a Star Wars podcast every day, or not every day, but you know, most of the week. And you know, that eats up some time, but I'm usually working when we're doing it. Like here, I'm here drawing. Not that big a deal. Yeah, dude, they're really good people, man. Paul is a really good dude. I'm just saying, like they're super supportive. They do like buyers like picks and stuff like that, and you know they work retail and everything. They're those guys, and his buddy Chris. They're really good dudes. His buddy Chris kind of looks like Luke Owen or Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson, right? And so I'm always like telling him, you know, hey, how's the jet skis? You know, I don't think he gets it, but you know. He was on the Heroes Reborn one. But like I said, I got the Carlos Miglia one I want to do, and then I got the first publishing TMNT. I still own those. There was the 4-color trade paperbacks that were put out like in 87, 88. And they were hand painted, you know, so they had the line art without the zipatone, so they were able to hand paint them really well. They're so good looking. They've never done better for TMNT color prints, you know, like so good. I try to keep busy. I try. How big do I want to make this hat? How big do I want to make this? How big is Gunslinger's hat, you think? How big? How round should it be? Every time I've drawn it, I've never drawn it from a 3/4 angle, so. Gunslinger spawn. He's a cowboy spawn. He's got like a cowboy hat. You know, that like tombstone hat. I'm trying to figure out how wide I should make these rounds. It's a rounded hat. Like in the army, we called it a brown round. When the drill sergeant wears a brown round, it's like kind of like that. Yeah, I know it should be, but I'm also drawing like crazy proportions, so you know, doesn't really quite work that way. If you've noticed, I don't really adhere to the 6 heads high rule. I don't know. I mean, you can only flip the canvas so many times before you're like, yeah, I don't know. I'll look at it in the morning and be like, yeah, that's not working. Usually with the warp tool, you can give it like a little nudge in the direction you want it, you know, to give it a little imperfection. Before you draw the final one. Yeah, right now I'm on page 18 on issue 4 of 5. Remember that, folks. Whenever you get there, you'll see. Eventually, you'll see why I'm like, yeah, yeah. Hey, look, I finished the blades. Look at that. I'll probably add some black when everything's done to pop them forward a little bit. I just wanted those blades to feel real solid, you know? So where does someone go to recommend a comic of sorts for me to talk about? Just write on any one of those comics and books comments. You just leave it there. I get all the messages, you know what I mean? I'll just put it in a document. I'll definitely check it out, you know what I mean? Yeah, right on the YouTube, just leave a comment on one of the comics and I'll... All right, I appreciate it. Thanks, Skyrim. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Got about another 30 minutes here. Got a blob in this guy's trench coat. Let me do a blob in the coat. When I work digitally, I have a method where I blob stuff in and then draw over them. I call it blob and draw, blobbies. I find it easier than drawing a bunch of lines. I just like to blob in what I want, a silhouette, and then draw it into this. So I start layering all my details. Blobbies, yep, right. With a Y, that's right, blobbies. It really helps with drapery and stuff, because then you can just sort of... I mean, you got to draw the figure first, you know? Kind of wrap things around, so that can be a little tedious, but... It really means that you can wrap clothes around a figure versus drawing a figure who's... So have you done any famous comics yet? No. No. I was working on, well, I did some covers for IDW, like for First Strike and Transformer stuff, but... Every time I would work on a comic, the publisher would cancel it. Like back in 2000, first I sold an original series to Image in 2005, and my writer did not write any scripts, so that was a waste of time. And then I was working on a comic called Monstroids, written by Kevin Grievous, the guy who wrote all the Underworld movies and stuff, right? And it was going to be like an 80s cartoon where monsters get rebuilt like RoboCop to fight, you know, real monsters and stuff. RoboCop monsters to fight real monsters. And they never could figure out on a final script. So I got like the first two. I got a 0 issue and a first issue done except for the last page, and then they canceled the series. Then I was working for a comic video game publisher called Fusion Publishing. They did a game magazine called Play Magazine, and they hired me to do graphic novels based off video games. That would be the next installment of the video game. We were doing one based off Death Junior. Death Junior was a PSP game series designed by Jeff Matsuda, and the character art was by Jeff Matsuda. And so I was doing that, and then the recession hit, and they went out of business. And then I just did covers for Big Dog Inc. for a while, and Game Informer, and then IDW. But I didn't like working with them too much. So they offered me a Transformers series, Wingblade, you know, the female one. And I turned that down. And then they got mad at me. Oh. Yeah, I draw too detailed for Transformers to be done on any. It's too much of a pain for me. You would think I would enjoy doing it, and I can, but not really. I was drawing them kind of like a cross between the Dreamwave stuff and toys, and it just didn't go over well with their fan base, you know. They told me my covers were the worst selling ones that year. You know, why continue that game? And I just stopped doing any kind of comics work. Yeah, I always get commissions, man. I don't have that problem. Like, I'm really fortunate in that area. But then I worked on video games for a while. I did Spyro Reignited and concept art on Spyro Reignited and Crash Bandicoot 4 and some undisclosed projects. Then Overwatch 2. And then I took some time off after that. And then Todd just hit me up out the blue and said, "You want to draw Spawn?" That was it. I was like, sure. I had done some Bane fan art, you know, on Twitter, and he saw on Instagram, and he saw that. And he thought the shape design was so cool. He's like, "You want to come over here and do some Spawn kills every Spawn?" You know, and I was like, "Yeah, I do." But it took a while to get that project going, like any project, dude. It takes a while. You know? I just kept sending them artwork until they got me a script. Basically how it went. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun animated style book. Yeah. Super expressive, different shape designs, you know. So I'm drawing the character, the superheroes I'm drawing like the way I would draw them even if I was drawing a comic, a regular comic, and then I'm pairing those next to the real cartoony characters, you know, so it has an interesting look. You know, it's one part 90s image comic, one part Ren and Stimpy. Yeah. I never got to work on it officially. Well, sort of. I did some key art for TMNT Smash Up on the Wii when I was working at Play Magazine. But I did work with Kevin Eastman on a project for him personally. He did these figures called Biz and Buzz, which are like these little like Beavis and Butthead kind of characters featuring him and Simon Bisley. And he's cousins with my friend. That remember that book I told you we sold, but the writer didn't write it. He's cousins with Kevin Eastman. So Kevin hired me in 2007 to color some storyboards for him. And I've never been able to get him to recommend me on Turtles, right? It doesn't work that way. He's always got like some kids project he wants me to work on. I'm like, I should just be like, sure, Kevin, but you know, I gotta draw cartoony, but it doesn't mean I draw for kids, you know. And the Turtles were cartoon when he drew him and Peter Laird drew it. You know, the way it works. When in doubt, black it out. I couldn't make some anatomy work, so I'll just put it in shadow. Hey, look, it works. The tool, don't cheat yourself. I know. Well, you know, I'll tell you what. The only real power you have as an artist is when to say no. You know? I have learned that one. I've done enough favors for people. Like, Kevin's a good dude, though, man. He's as nice as you'd think in real person. I got nothing but love and respect for Kevin. He's super good dude. I know, right? No, that project never got off the ground, so. Yeah. If it was something really great, you know, but I was just like, yeah, I don't think that's for me. Never remember how many spikes I draw on this trench coat. Notice that I lost all the grit on my original artwork on YouTube. Yeah, I don't really draw like. I definitely changed after. I mean, I draw now how I wanted to draw. A lot of the stuff I was doing 10 years ago was kind of how I felt I had to draw. You know, like, not a lot of place in comic for how I draw. So I thought I had to be more grittier. Or, like when I was doing covers for Big Dog Ink, they wanted like a J. Scott Campbell kind of style. And so I played that game for a while. You know, I tried the pencil grit texture stuff to kind of give it some, you know, whatever that is, edge or something. But if you go back to my art in 2005, 2006, it was animated and sort of cleaner, shape designing. Now I've managed to, you can't see it now, but like the book I'm working on now, like my inks are somewhere between Bill Waters and, you know, so like I got the clean art, but I also got like splatter and thick and thin and all that stuff. So it's a good blend. But plus, I didn't have a really good way of like inking professionally. Like I tend to draw in pens, I don't ink. So like this right here, I drew this in pen. I didn't really ink a drawing, like. So yeah. I definitely consider my art style to be somewhere between Carlos Wiglio and Bill Watterson. If I had to sort of nail that down. Yeah. Kind of a mix. You know, and I got little bits of anime influence here and there, you know. Just my influences over the years. Sometimes it comes out whether I, you know, intended to or not. But at this point, I just go where I think a project needs to go, you know. Like, I always like that Stephen Platt look from 94, 95, you know. I can't do that in inks. I can do it in pencil. But at this point, what am I proving, you know? What am I proving? My buddy Shelby Robertson can ink the shit out of that, so. And he worked at Extreme back in the day. He was there hanging out at Stephen Platt's office. He can still do it. But you got to make what you want to get hired to make. You know, that's basically what I've come to. Make what you want to get paid to do. Don't show what you can do or what's possible, because it just confuses people. How did I get into drawing? Oh man, I was born with it. You know? Born with the want. Just took me forever to develop the talent, you know. I was really more of a colorist when I was a kid. But I needed something to color, so I started on my drawing, right? Perspective and figure work and all that. And then I came across Turtles, the first publishing stuff. And in 89, 90, around there. Before the movie came out, so I want to say 89. And The Dark Knight Returns was around that time too, when I first got my copy of that. You know what I mean? And then I started going to San Diego Comic-Con in 1992, so I was there when Image... the whole Image thing blew my mind. I was like, oh wow, I thought between Turtles and Image, like, you could just create your own thing and, you know, be independently, you know, going. You know, my dad always had his own business. He did a security business. I was like, I could do that for art. But it took me a long time to get good as an illustrator, you know. I'm gonna try and get a first pass at this coat. And I gotta roll on one, see if I can do it. I mean, I did sell our book to Image. I mean, Jim Valentino and Eric Larson. I mean, Eric Larson had nothing to do with that, but we did show it to him that convention. He gave me the thumbs up, and Jim picked it up. But it's just like, at that time I was working on t-shirts, so I was just going to do that at night after work. But I did not understand that it wasn't already written. And I also didn't understand that my writer had no funds to pay a colorist. So, like, I had to learn how to digitally color, which I thought I would learn in college, but that place sucked, so that didn't happen. So I just had to learn how to do it myself. Letter, color, write, all of it. If I could do anything in art, what would you like to do? Well, I'm kind of doing it right now. I always wanted to draw Spawn. So other than this, I mean, I'd love to work with Double Fine, you know? I'd love to do some Savage Dragon or Turtles, you know? Just childhood stuff, you know? But Spawn was a big deal to me, man, so I got the first 100 issues. I actually own Greg Capullo art from issue 71 and issue 97. I own 3 pages. I have all my posters from high school on the wall. It'd be great to, not have to worry about money. Be able to, put out my own books on some kind of regular schedule annually, and that's every artist's dream, really. So who knows? Who knows? I mean, we just put out a game on Switch, Berserk Boy. So like, I get to see my art on the Nintendo store, which I never thought. I didn't even get that when I was working on Crash and Spyro, so it'd be nice to do a whole game in my art style. Like, that would be super dope. Yeah, some of us never grow up, right? I always just try to, like, my philosophy is I just want 15-year-old Rob to give me a big hug. Like, I just want 15-year-old Rob to be proud, okay? Because I grew up super poor, and like, this was not something I ever thought. I mean, I wanted to do it, but I never thought it actually happened. I just thought I'd give it a good go, Stuck with it. I've had my biggest successes when I just go with my instincts. So when you see the art changes, if I kept drawing the way I did Gritty 10 years ago, Todd. Oh, so that Spawn piece I did, like back in 2009, where he's standing there, he's got the glowing hand and Gritty stuff. That fan art I put in the book. All of my Spawn fan art's in the book as a poster in Chibi's room. I was able to, but it's really my shape design that caught his eye, So it's like funny because he did that cover contest, and I saw the entries, and man, there's so much good art. But like, I'll say this: nobody drew it like I draw it. Like, good or bad, for good or bad, I thought for certain someone would do something like, just statistically speaking, but I guess not. You're doing pretty good with all this family thing. My family is all passed away. So my dad was always, he never thought he never got in the way, but he never thought he doesn't know how I ever managed to work this out. And my mom, she never liked anything I did, so she wasn't, supportive in any way. I'm pretty open about that, like on the shows and stuff. He was just resentful that she had me when she was like in high school. So kind of was like, someday you're gonna struggle like I did, And when I didn't, he got real resentful. Like, hey man, it's okay, dude. I've worked that out, but it's like that happens, I didn't. What can you do, right? So, but my uncle, I have an uncle and aunt. They're super supportive. They're, I guess they were my godfather and godmother, but I didn't really see them much when I was younger. But since my pops passed away, they've been pretty active in my life, And they're pretty supportive. I talk to them once a month. But I don't really, I like I'm appreciative of it, but it's like, what can you do, you know? I do this for me, you know, I don't really... Like I told you, like 15-year-old Rob would be super happy. That's what I look forward to. That's what I think about. And hey, you know, getting compliments from Tom McFarlane in my email doesn't hurt either, right? Like that's crazy. What about your wife? Yeah, she's proud of what I do, but she mostly stays out of it. Like for her, this is, you know, this is like every day, so it's like... Not wowed by any of it, you know? Ego. I don't know about ego, man. I don't... I got... Since I went to Comic-Con as a kid, like, I don't have that. I don't have that, like... You know, like, when I was younger, yeah, there is that whole, like, you want to prove, but at the same time, I quickly found out, like, I worked in real art departments, like, you know, you can prove all you want, but, you know, you're just looking for... doesn't really get you anywhere, so I try to go like, hey, you know, what did I see in my head, and did I get what I saw in my head down on paper? You know, can I get other people to see what was in my head? You know, if I do that, then I'm happy with myself. If I don't do that, then I'm unhappy. No amount of compliments is really going to fix that. You know. Right, I know, like the id and all that stuff. I think what my wife always appreciated is that I've always treated like art's like a blue collar job to me. It's a crafting job, you know. I'm not gonna do a reveal photo where I stand over and turn around. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Don't do that. Not a good look. Not a good look. Almost got this trench coat work. Yeah, I'm about ready to hang it up myself. I'm just trying to get myself in a good position. I gotta go see Ghostbusters tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to get started earlier than I normally do. Probably have to skip my morning walk tomorrow. It's fine. I can skip a day. But you gotta go, man. Don't stress. Go get some sleep, buddy. I'll be here as many days as I can. I'll be probably tomorrow, for certain, at some point tomorrow. For certain. I'm going to see him at the movie at 2 p.m., so not in the middle of the day. But either in the morning or at night, for certain. Ronald. Gotta flip this. No, it is. A little on the thin side. Pop the shit when I get the final line. Alrighty, it's a good place. I got good progress. I mean, some of these shapes aren't as poppy as you can have a rather down to earth. Yeah, man, I'm super down to earth. I mean, I can get heated. I get nerd mad about, I don't know. Like when they post CMYK JPEGs, that annoys me. And you ever see that for comic books when like the previews look all super saturated, like they're glowing neon green? It's because they posted a CMYK JPEG. I put a video up on the YouTube. Please stop posting CMYK JPEGs. And anytime I see someone post it, I send them the video. I get. Yeah, I'm calling it a night, my friend. I gotta get going. I gotta still clean up the kitchen and get to sleep, and then get up at 6. So. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Tomorrow I got a Psylocke coming up. I don't think it'll be tomorrow, but definitely the day after. I got to render it tomorrow. So I think tomorrow, what do we got? Let me see. Let me look really quick. What are we gonna do tomorrow? I got I got a Batman. I got some quick sketches I did. 3 of them: a Batman, Harley, Joker, Superman, water saucy thing. This is an old sketch I did. A bunch of quick commissions I did like several years ago. So I got that. I could do that tomorrow. And I got the Hulk saucy. Wait, that's 12 times? That's 12 times. No, I can't do that. I gotta re-render that. So I got that, and then I got a Godzilla saucy. Like a little tiny Godzilla thing I did. It's a tiny thing. So we'll do some watercolor streaming tomorrow on the videos. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, Skyrim, and everyone else who's lurking. Thank you for hanging out. If you're on the YouTubes and Facebook, please just leave a comment. Just go comment. Go, hi, Rob. Like anything, thumbs up, something, because any engagement helps the algos spread the word, spread the love. So appreciate it, right? Free. It's free. You do Rob a solid. You know what I mean? Do me a solid. Okay. I gotta go. See you tomorrow. Peace.